Hello, everyone. I welcome you to the world of coaching. This is your coach, Mehnaz Amjad. The very intention I have created this video is to help you experience life coaching firsthand. Towards the end of this session, you will be able to understand the many benefits of hiring a life coach or availing life coaching services to transform your life for better. In our session today, let me share with you a story. This story is not something that I have made up based on my experience, but is part of a real life coaching assignment that I had worked with. What you see before you is Alex. He's a senior manager in a top multinational firm, but at present, this is how his state is. The most surprising and interesting part of his state is as this is his internal state, where Alex is exhausted with the issues at hand. However, to his external world, which is his friends, his partner, his colleagues, his peer group, even his kids, his parents, he seems to be living a perfect life. Before signing up for my coaching assignment, Alex was in this particular state for close to around 3 years. He had extreme bouts of anxiety. He stayed confused. The most surprising element of his state was his bottled up emotions deep down, which were only visible to Alex. On account of that, Alex gave a silent treatment to his peer group partner and supervisor. And when I say a silent treatment, what I meant here is Alex was always on a pretense. He would mask his feelings. He would avoid conflicts. In fact, he would avoid most of the time even socializing unless it was needed. When it comes to his partner, he would never ever share what was really going on inside him. There were times where he was dissatisfied with his work. There were times when he thought of exploring, understanding, evaluating, but he couldn't find the courage to do any of that. All he did was to keep every emotion inside him. This led to an interesting development. Alex became a bit of a people pleaser also. Imagine a senior manager with an extremely well performance record, doing really well, managing a lead of good team members, leading them, working on complex projects, delivering, achieving, getting promoted. However, all of this is a part of his external world. While deep inside, there was so much that Alex had, all getting messed up with every single moment. As time passes by, Alex thought that he would be somehow be able to resolve these issues. And with this thought, he continued on, and this is how he lived for 3 years, almost close to around 3 years, before he had this wake up call. Now, this wake up call came to Alex when Alex was fired from his job and he remained unemployed for a very long time. Being fired from his job, Alex was pushed into a state of deep shame. It was adding to already the list of stress, confusion, and anxiety he held inside himself. Now, beyond this, he was quite confident that he would just get into another interview and he would get selected. But this didn't happen as he thought. He kept on reaching out to his friends, referrals. He would even attend interviews of roles that don't really were a match to his skills and potential. But somehow his idea to get back into a job was more out of being part of the mainstream and more out of the shame he felt of being unemployed than anything else. In fact, in this 3 years, in this long term of unemployment, Alex became more of a recluse. He stopped further socializing and lived with deep shame. There were many fears that also enveloped Alex. And he was alarmed. He was also surprised by his own potential skills, which he always thought would take him from one job to another. He was quite confident of that. But things were completely moving in a very different direction. And that's when one of his very close friends, who Alex knew from his college days, asked him to seek a coach. And this is how me and Alex, we met for the first time. This is my program called Journey of Self. This is a coaching assignment, a coaching program actually. And I have titled this, friends, as Journey of Self because this program, the main theme of this is to help individuals, any working professional in mid-senior level, find clarity and direction into the personal matters that are now standing in the way of their career growth. In case of Alex, there were many issues which we'll see to it in a moment from now. But before that, just I want to share with you a brief snippet of what this coaching program is all about. This program, I have given it 3 options. The structure of this program does not change. The only thing that changes here is the duration, because some people can commit to a 2-month, for some it's a 3-month, depending on the severity of the problem at hand, and for some they need a 5-month program. So I've made this Journey of Self, which is a single coaching program, into 3 options that one could choose, and basis on which you also have an option of paying your coaching fee basis on the program you choose. Meaning, I also offer easy monthly installments where for some who may not want to pay a one-time fee can choose the longest duration and make easy payments on a monthly basis. And it again depends on the severity and the need of the program. Regardless of whatever option you choose, Journey of Self will have weekly calls of 60 to 90 minutes. And in these calls is where we meet and connect online through our channel mode, which I shall share when people sign up for a coaching assignment. And this is how one gets coached. Let's come back to Alex's case. Alex has taken up the Journey of Self for 2 months. And this is, in a summary, a program snippet of Alex's coaching assignment. Our week 1 started with a discovery call. These calls are usually done with an intention to uncover the problem at hand. Sometimes we may need to do 1 or 2 discovery calls before we actually reach the point of understanding what is the problem at hand and how best I can be of an assistance to my client. Domain of life is a very common tool used mostly by almost all the coaches. This is also called Wheel of Life. This tool is usually used to give a holistic view of how one is presently in the present state, how one is doing in their life. And this is one of the most powerful tools to help you get a perspective, a holistic view on your life. I have used this in case of Alex, and I shall share with you more that in a minute from now. In week 2, together me and Alex, we worked on what exactly Alex wanted to achieve by the end of this program. So in discovery, we uncovered what was a real issue. The domains of life gave a holistic view. In week 2, it was more about understanding what really was the main issue and how Alex would wanted it to get resolved. This is where the results, it's like working backwards, where we first draw a plan of what he would like to achieve out of this 2 months coaching assignment. This week 3, week 4, the coaching assignment and work reflection are a combination of many techniques and tools that I usually share with my clients depending on the case, because there are like millions of such tools available to coaches. We are basically trained on it, on the usage and also on the practice of it, which I usually share with most of my clients depending on their issue. In case of Alex, there were several tools that I had also shared that with him, helping him find answers to the questions he held deep inside him. Finally, the week 9 is where we wrap up. Now, this could be an end of the coaching assignment, but it's not really an end of journey here, because friends, journey of self or a personal development journey, they don't really it's like a ongoing work that we do because we are developing ourselves, and our life and its phases keeps changing with time. So a coaching assignment with a particular aim and how we achieve that may come to a close, but the self-development journey is something that you do for a lifetime. It's just that your aim, your goals may keep changing. So I had, just like Alex, I had several other clients who I had coached over a period of many years on different aims and goals. In case of Alex, he did this 2 month course, and I hope he would join me soon this year while he was sharing his interest with me in just 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks ago, in fact, on one of our calls where he reached out and he said he may wanted to rework on another assignment, and I look forward to work with him on that. But for now, let's talk about what me and Alex worked in this particular assignment. This is the domain of life or wheel of life, whichever way you want to call it. Now, I have drew this as in a hierarchy, like a structure. Usually it's a wheel, but I just wanted to make this clear. Our domains of life usually comprises of ourself, our relationship with others, and our career, that's our professional life, and our connection with the money or the wealth that we earn as a livelihood or as an entrepreneur, as revenue, whatever you may want to call it. Now, Alex, when he came in, this was his problem that he shared. He never shared with me in our first 2 calls what his real issue was. All he said was he has been putting on weight, he's been eating a lot, maybe not very healthy diet, and he find that his blood pressure was slightly higher than the normal levels, and he is usually in an agitated mood. My reply to Alex for the first time when I spoke was, I'm not a health coach, Alex. However, let's talk more. Tell me more of your life. And that's when I gave him this domain of life, because whenever we ask anyone, just give me a version or a 2 minute version of your life, not necessarily everyone can be good enough to articulate that. This tool actually helps do so. So when I gave this to Alex, I said, Alex, okay, see this, and I'll give you 5 minutes. Think through and tell me on a score of 1 to 3, if you were to score for each of these domains, 1 being low and 3 being high, tell me how satisfied you are with your life. And this is what the score he gave me. If you see here, his career, he has given the least, and the spiritual health, while his partner, there were some relationship issues he was having, where he gave a 1, and his mental health a 1. Looking at his own scores, Alex was quite surprised by what he found. And this is where we now began our journey of establishing what really Alex wanted out of this coaching assignment of 2 months. Alex wanted to be a bit more confident, and his main aim was to understand what was it that kept him so deeply away from others. Why was it that he never shared things even with his partner? And what is it that threw him out of his job despite his best performances, and that he was not finding another job the way he wanted? Because he was completely unaware of how he came across. And therefore, he was not aware of where exactly he went wrong. While what I'm sharing with you here is just a small summary, friends, because it was a very deep and intensive work we did together. But after our discovery call and working on this part, I gave Alex few journal prompts to answer. And in the week 3 and 4, we worked on his mental health. Week 5 and 6, it was spiritual health, and week 7 and 8, it was on his relationship. So we divided these weeks, and on each week, whenever we had our call, the call comprised of me helping him learn some techniques, work on a certain tools and assignment I gave him as an homework. And then along with that, put that into practice and keep sharing his experiences with me, so that we together monitor the progress he's making, and also try to work on areas where he's not progressing as he thought so. We began with a very simple question like, what is the real challenge here? And what do you want? It might sound too simple, but friends, simple is very powerful. That's what I've always believed in. And even like when I gave him these questions in a week's time, there were few more things that I gave specific to what he shared with me. This gave Alex so much insight into what really was at play. Besides this, there was this is a technical term, Johari window. It's a very famous window. You could look up into Google. This is used in the behavioral systems and concepts when we learn, which helps usually in case like Alex, working professionals, to help them understand what was his blind spots. Now, this term blind spot in the behavioral sciences is used as something he's not aware of while others are observing in him. And the narratives, the experiences he shared, I helped him through that understand why and what was really the reason he lost his job despite his best performances. Also, how he came across to his partner where he was having the maximum issues with, his communication styles, the assumptions he held, and the behavior he exhibited. Plus, on his anxiety, I helped him learn some guided meditation techniques, plus some work on his inner narrative. This was part of my podcast as well, which I can share with you a link if in case you want to check that out for yourself, which I shared with Alex, which helped him understand why in the spiritual side of his own self He was so disconnected with his inner self. From here, when we collected the whole stories, narrations, experiences, responses, answers that Alex gave to the questions I asked, his silence, his reflection, what came out when he did those meditations, what came out when I gave him those journal prompts, and how, when he rewired his conscious self and understood what lay deep within his subconscious mind, how we work, where he held the trauma inside him, what was the cause. In fact, I took in some case Alex back to his young years, the negative incidents that left a deep impact on him, the indoctrinated beliefs. It was a collection of a lot of data. And when we weaved that together, this is what we uncovered. There were some real deep grief and some very tragic incidents in the life of Alex, which he perhaps had never shared it with anyone, not even his partner, and some unprocessed emotions which all were playing havoc in his life. He kind of had lost touch with his self. And since he always assumed and thought, maybe I'll solve it some or the other way, instead of getting solved, all these unprocessed emotions and the deep grief that he held inside him manifested in ways he couldn't imagine. Not only they were standing in the way, creating hindrance in his professional growth, even personally, he was suffering a lot in his relationship, which was actually not something he wanted to. When we uncovered this and connected the dots, is only when Alex was able to see the complete picture, which he failed to see with his own single dimension and view, of his own narrow view of things, because he never shared it with anyone. He never knew what was right and wrong and how he came across to people. And moving from here, using all these tools, we were finally able to get back to the goal that we established and help Alex achieve it. The result was phenomenal. For the first time in his life, Alex was able to venture inward, look at the dark side of his own self, stare it, live through it, feel the uncomfort, feel the deep grief, and also learn the best ways to deal with such complicated emotions. The complex connection of inward and outward. When that is lost, is the point where Alex lived. He was finally able to find answers when he looked inward. And more so, the techniques I taught him, I always emphasize on putting things into action, sometimes also being his accountability coach to ensure he's not just learning things in theory, but putting them in practice and experiencing it. And when Alex started to experience that change, because change does not happen overnight, it takes time, but it does happen. And it did. So finally, we were able to achieve the one major thing, which was finding a clarity and direction of the confused Alex was completely blinded due to lack of self-awareness. At present, Alex is a confident senior leader. He's working in a Fortune 500 firm, managing clients worldwide with a huge span of control, managing a team of 15 senior members underneath him. And Alex has found this job. The moment he was able to connect with his inner self, to identify those blind spots, to understand his communication style, to know what was the real cause, what was those deep rooted, deep seated grief, trauma, limiting beliefs, mindset that all stood in his way and he was not aware of. And then the techniques he put them into practice helped him attain this confident and sense of calm that he always wanted. That was Alex for you, friends. If, just like Alex, or maybe even more, the whole idea of this video is to help you gain a first-hand experience of how life coaching works. And if you want to go dig deep, just like Alex did, here are my coordinates. You can book your call with me or connect with me. Our coaching consultation calls are always free of cost. There are no charges for it. We first sit, get on a call, understand what really is the problem. We uncover that first. And if you feel that I can really be of assistance to you, taking that conversation ahead in complete confidentiality, then you can enroll in for my coaching assignment. I hope this brief view from a real life case study had helped you understand life coaching firsthand. For more details, for being coached, or to just experience how a coach can help you get in touch with your own inner self and transform your life forever, get in touch with me. I look forward to speak with you. Thank you.